Hearing that sound from the front desk, he was stunned to find that the two people had not left yet.
Where are you going?
To get something to eat.
Eat?
Lara was contemplating silently. For a trash like Chuck, he would prefer fast food on the streets even after living luxuriously. After all, he was still part of the low-class commoners who would never be able to climb up the ladders of wealth. She coughed and said seriously,
Chuck, I lent you money and you haven't thanked me, have you?
Although Chuck was disgusted by Lara's words, he still nodded calmly. Although he had borrowed $200 from her and was eventually forced to pay back $400 instead, it was evident that without $200 he would have starved long ago.
Thanking you is what I should do.
My boyfriend and I haven't eaten yet. Would you like to invite us to have a meal in this hotel?
Okay.
Lara and Conrad looked at each other. They had eaten here before. Although they ordered the most ordinary dishes, it cost at least $1,000 for just a few dishes. 3 people would cost at least $2,000. Chuck no doubt loves to show off. He even straight up agreed to it.
Thanks, let's go then, I'm so hungry.
Lara smiled while holding Conrad's arms and walked to the restaurant. Chuck followed them. The 3 of them found a place in the restaurant and sat down. Soon the waiter came over with a menu and said,
Good evening. We have a Friday special offer of set dishes here. 3 meat dishes, 1 vegetarian dish, and 1 soup at only $888. Would you like to think about it?
The waiter knew that the 3 of them were all students, so he recommended a cheaper option for them. Lara shook her head hurriedly and pouted.
I don't want to have set dishes.
I don't want it either.
Chuck, to thank me you won't just treat me to set dishes, will you?
Well, you can order whatever you like.
Seriously. Whatever you like. Lara snorted and rolled her eyes. How much do you actually have to ask me to simply order whatever I like? So pretentious. Lara, of course, was more than happy to hear so. She took the menu and pointed at whatever she liked. She ordered a total of 7 dishes, and at this point even the waiter's expression was a little strange. These dishes were all Triumph Hotel's expensive recommended dishes, costing them around $4,000 to $5,000 in total. Judging that they were students, how could they afford such expensive dishes? He confirmed once more.
Are you sure you want to order so much? Each dish in Triumph Hotel is not only of high quality but also of great quantity. Generally speaking, 4 or 5 dishes should be enough for 3 people.
Lara looked at Chuck, attempting to sense panic from his expression. She smiled and asked,
I'll confirm if you don't have anything else to add on.
Yep, that's all.
The waiter took a look at Chuck with full of sympathy. At first glance, he knew that Chuck had been ruthlessly conned. Yet, he had no choice but to take the menu and leave. Soon the dishes were served. There were a lot of dishes, and the 3 of them definitely could not finish them all. Lara ate only 2 pieces of beef before getting a more evil idea.
Chuck, it seems I ordered too many dishes. Since there are such lot of dishes here, would you mind if I ask a few friends to come over and eat together? It will be livelier.
Well, it's up to you.
Lara looked at Chuck's calm face and sneered in her heart. At this time, he still pretended to be generous.
Since there's going to be more people later, it'll be all right if we add on a few more dishes, right?
Chuck nodded. Lara and Conrad looked at each other and chuckled. Then, they buried their heads in their meals and continued to eat. Not long after, 2 beautiful women came with their boyfriends. Chuck knew these 2 beauties. One was called Moon Charisse, and the other was called Tia Thomas. However, he didn't know the 2 men. The two of them rushed over after hearing Laura claiming that there was an idiot treating them to food at Triumph Hotel. When they came and realized that the idiot was Chuck Cannon, their faces were full of surprise. Tia sat down and whispered in Laura's ear.
Isn't this Chuck? Does he even have money?
This idiot has a stroke of luck since he picked up a lot of money.
Saying this, Laura called over the waiter. The newly came 4 people ordered dishes, which costed around 4 or 5,000. All the dishes cost more than 10,000, and Chuck was pretty sure already dying inside. Laura gloated at Chuck's misery. The dishes were soon served. The 3 couples were eating happily. However, no one spoke to Chuck as they isolated him completely. Chuck had nothing to say either and ate his own food quietly. After a while, since he was almost done with the meal, he called the waiter over. The waiter rushed over with the bill and said respectfully,
Sir, the total is $9,302.
She looked at Chuck, who was dressed cheaply, and wondered how he was going to pay. Laura, Conrad, and the 4 who came afterward looked at Chuck maliciously. They were so happy since they wanted to see him make a fool of himself. However, Chuck took out 10,000 in cash from his bag and Laura's eyes shot open. Sure enough, he had picked up $20,000. Conrad and the others were full of bitterness. But even if he was lucky, what could he do? Today, they would force him to spend everything. Chuck took out $3,000 calmly and handed it over to the waiter. After that, he stopped taking out any money anymore. Everyone was stunned and puzzled. The waiter said,
Sir, this is $3,000. It's not enough.
Yeah, it's $9,300. Chuck, you yourself agreed to treat us to dinner, you have to pay the full bill.
What's wrong with that? You lent me some money. It's very reasonable for me to treat you. But who are these people? I don't know them. What does their meal have to do with me?
What the fuck are you saying? Didn't you say it was your treat? I even asked you before ordering, didn't I? When I invited people over, you also agreed to it. And now you're trying to pretend nothing happened?
Laura Jean was furious and pointed angrily at Chuck Cannon. Conrad Lee's face darkened. Moon Charisse, Tia Thomas, and their boyfriends didn't look well either. They just came here for a free meal and didn't want to pay a penny. Unexpectedly, they encountered such a thing. Laura cried out suddenly, and everyone in the restaurant stared at them. They felt so embarrassed.
You've lent me some money. So it's reasonable for me to treat you. Now that I've treated you, you should settle the rest by yourself. I don't know these people, and I don't have the interests of treating strangers.
Fuck you, Chuck, are you trying to play tricks on us?
Conrad glared at Chuck. Was he being forced to pay the remaining $6,000 himself? Chuck looked at Conrad. He wouldn't have dared to do that previously, but now that he had money, he wasn't afraid of anyone. Conrad stared at Chuck, clenching his fists, but he frowned. Chuck, who used to be timid, was not afraid of him. This kind of calmness.
This person is just reluctant to pay. He did it on purpose. This sort of person even exists. If you don't have money, don't put on airs then, huh? This is such a disgusting attitude. Fuck, you have the guts to dupe me? No matter what, you have to pay. Whether you want to or not.
In that case, that means you'll treat everyone here to a meal?
Damn it, are you deaf? When did I say that I'll treat them? Do I know them? Why should I treat them? I ask you to pay for us.
You say you don't want to treat everyone here because you don't know them. Then, why should I treat your friends to a meal? Do I know them?
Lara's face was as red as blood. She was going crazy. Moon and Tia's expressions twitched. They were angry as well, but they were rendered speechless.
Poor fuck. You're just a poor fuck.
Lara cursed incoherently. However, she was immediately shocked by her own words. Chuck glanced at her. A poor fuck? If she knew that his mother had given him $5 million casually, would she still think that he was a poor fuck? The corner of Chuck's mouth curled up and he accidentally broke a bowl. With a bang, the bowl was smashed to pieces on the ground.
Oh. Sir, are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm sorry for breaking a bowl. As compensation, keep this.
Chuck placed all the remaining money into the hands of the dumbfounded waiter. The waiter was stunned. It was just a bowl and this guest compensated over $7,000? The customers around them were shocked. A $7,000 bowl? And this was still considered poor? He was totally a baller. Conrad's eyes widened in disbelief. How could he spend $7,000 on a bowl that probably cost only $3 to $4? Did he really pick up just $20,000? Moon and Tia were even more dumbfounded. $8,000 was their living expenses for 2 months. How could he just give it away like that? While everyone was stunned, Chuck Cannon had already started walking out.
Ah. Chuck, damn it, go to hell. You rather give it to others than me.
Laura, what should we do now? We don't have money.
Yes, my boyfriend and I didn't bring money either.
Moon Charisse added immediately. Lara was so angry that she gnashed her teeth in annoyance. She glared at them, took out a credit card while gritting her teeth, and squeezed out 3 words from her mouth.
I'll pay by card.
Moon and Tia heaved a sigh of relief. The waiter came to his senses and went to the front desk with a stack of money and a credit card in his hand. Lara was so frustrated her nails sunk deeply in the flesh of her palm.
He's so pretentious. It's likely that he'll spend all his money today. He won't be able to show off for a long time. He'll surely ask you to borrow money to him like a dog when he runs out of money. At that time, don't lend him a cent even if he kneels to you.
Kneel? I won't lend him any money even if he calls me mom.
He's just a pathetic dog, once he has no money. He'll definitely come to ask you, Lara, for your help. Then, you can embarrass him.
Yes, Lara, don't be angry. Why should you be angry with such a person? He didn't even want to settle a single bill easily and rather spent $8,000 to buy a broken bowl than to pay the bill. I really hate such a person.
Don't be angry. It's $6,000. My dad is going to curse me to death. No, I must ask him for the money.
What are you going to do then?
Humph, he dares toy with me. I'll teach him a lesson.
Lara remarked coldly. Chuck took the elevator back to his room.
This marks the end of Chapter 4. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel and comment any other novel you'd like to be featured here.